I see myself?
If you go on the top of the screen, I think you will see small, the gallery of people who are there on this panel and you. Are you able to see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi everyone.
Hi, good afternoon.
I recognize many faces already.
Yes. So let me start. If music be the food of love, play on. As Shakespeare rightly suggests, music is certainly nourishment for the soul. Good afternoon, everyone, and we welcome you to today's session that will help us understand the role of music has in helping us heal both physically and emotionally. We have with us today Saundarya Ambika, Dr. Shruti Nath Podar, who wears the different hats of a vibrational healer, a mentor, a spiritual teacher, an educationist and a trainer, a heritage conservationist, and a teacher of ancient wisdom and indigenous knowledge, sciences, and systems. She is also an accomplished poet and a gifted musician. She has received many awards and recognitions for her innovative revival of heritage and has a distinction of being the only individual entrepreneur to have won the prestigious FICCI Award for special contribution to the travel and tourism industry. Today, she will take us on a healing journey through an interactive session on Indic system of vibrational Nada healing and yoga that is great way to heal his holistically. Before we begin the process, I would like to invite Dr. Podar to enlighten the audience on the concept of Nada yoga and how vibrations and sounds help us build physiologically and psychologically. So the first question I would like to ask is, what led you to vibrational healing?
Actually,
Dr. Podar, over to you.
It's one only realizes much later in life. And first of all, let me say a big namaste and hello to everybody from across the world. Delighted to be with all of you in this very positive moment in time. This is a moment where we are all positive because we are all connected together. So now coming to Saurav's question, what led me to vibrational healing? One realizes that it's not one thing, it's a series of influences in one's life that leads you to something. Beginning from what I experienced as a child with my grandfather chanting with the fire since the time I was born, and then my father doing it. So one is not conscious of what's happening within, but the conscious moment came in 1992 when I had a surgery. And the day after the surgery, I found myself half audibly chanting to the area of the pain, because I had a sudden shooting pain in my stomach where I had the surgery. And intuitively, I found myself chanting to the area of the pain, and the pain disappeared in about 2 seconds. And that's what started me on my journey of research and experimentation with our indigenous knowledge systems. And that is where I chanced upon the whole secret and science of seed sounds, because it was indeed just one sound that cured me. So then I went into the whole technology and the science of vibrational systems in our culture, including the sciences of seed sounds, which go across many practices in the Indic traditions. And that research led me to further experimentation with myself first, then with other people. And that's how my systems of teaching and sharing developed. Because I found that after I discovered all these sciences, I never had to have another tablet in my life. So
That's amazing.
It's been 32 years now, and I have not had a single allopathic tablet since then.
Amazing to hear this, Dr. Shruti. And another question I would like to ask is, how is Naad yoga different from other forms of yoga?
Basically, Yog comes from a root word yuj, to be in unity, to create a sense and a consciousness of unity within. So anything that leads you to that experience and consciousness of a unified being is yoga. Anything that leads you to that.
Yes.
So Naad Yoga is a science of vibration. It's a science of vibration. Naad, let me explain the word Naad, because if you understand the word Naad, you will automatically understand what Naad Yoga is. So Naad is a Sanskrit word made up of two sounds, two root sounds, Na and Da. So Na means the bed of potential energy, prana vayu, and Da, the root meaning. When we say root meaning, it means the natural essence of a sound, not an intellectual meaning, but a natural essence. So when you say Da, it seems like something pushing. Na is not pushing. It's a bed of something which is there but not moving. And Da is push, urge, inspiration, aspiration, anything that is an action of heat, fire, movement. So that which creates a push facilitates movement in potential. So that will force which creates movement of potential is that which, when it comes together, becomes vibration, movement, manifestation. So all movement, all kinesis, all that is born out of potential into movement and vibration in nature. Indeed, everything that exists, all cells, all atoms, everything is in constant movement. Our electrons are moving at unimaginable speeds. So anything that vibrates is Naad, that potential which is pushed with the. So all that moves, all that vibrates is Nada. And sound is only one level and one form of Nada or vibration. So anything that accesses vibrational sciences, particularly that which involves sound, sight, intent, thought, breath, all these things, even mudras, there's a whole gamut of vibrational sciences, which I personally have integrated into the ecosystem that I've created, which is called Nada Vibronics. So besides the common understanding that Nada is sound, either silent, intended sound,
Yeah.
or a vibration where you can feel the sound or you can visualize the sound but not speak it, or audible sound. Besides that, many other vibrational methodologies are also a part of Nada Yoga. But again, coming to the basic, the most commonly used form of Nada Yoga is the form of sound. But when we talk about vibrational healing, we talk about sound, we talk about visualization, we talk about vibrations that are caused by mudras, we talk about many other forms of vibrational applications that help us to change our present condition, to alter our conditions, to heal ourselves, to empower ourselves, to raise our consciousness, to cleanse ourselves, and so on.
Thank you, ma'am. I think we also have a few questions from our panelist. There is a question which Harpreet wants to ask. Would you go and ask your question, Harpreet?
Yeah, sure. Good afternoon, ma'am. You just mentioned about the music healing the body, and you could get rid of pain. But my question was, does music have a direct impact on the emotions of a person as well?
Of course. Music, first and foremost, reaches you through your sensory inputs. No? So the sense of sound, and so on. And the first impact of it is the relaxation of nerves, the relaxation of your nervous system. Now, different kinds of music create different kinds of atmosphere. So whenever we are ready, I can demonstrate it to you as to how even the application of the Indian raga can create different kinds of atmosphere in your consciousness, make you feel different sensorially, different emotionally, different in terms of the visualizations you have in your mind, the colors that you see in your consciousness, difference between your body wanting to sway or your body becoming extremely still. So different kinds of music, particularly the use of the Indian rag, because each of the Indian rags have actually are supposed to have a time of day when their movement or their set of notes matches with the atmosphere of nature. So that is why when you sing a particular rag at a particular time, it kind of goes with it. But even for instance, we are sitting here in India in the middle at around 4 o'clock, and people in different parts of the world may be having different time zones at this moment. But even if we were to sing a rag at this point, you would actually feel different energies or even see a different time of day in your consciousness.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, would you like me to demonstrate any of that?
Please.
Yes, sure.
That will be nice.
Yeah. So there is another question by Ganesh. I think it is also related to this only. Ganesh,
Yes.
would you go and ask this question, please?
Yes.
Namaste. Good afternoon, Dr. Shruti. My question is, what kind of diseases are we talking about? Can this type of yoga help heal or help in healing the chronic ailments?
So first of all, when we say this type of yoga, actually it's not a type of yoga. Naad yoga is a very vast gamut of collection of sciences which go across many traditions and cultures in the Indic practice. So you have Naad yoga in when you are doing Japji. You have Naad yoga within Hatha yoga. You have Naad yoga within Sri Vidya or the sciences of the Sri Yantra. So there are various applications of Naad yoga. Okay, various applications of Naad yoga, and there are various sciences which deal with various ways of changing ourselves or healing ourselves of diseases. So the sciences of Bija Mantra can heal us of diseases. The Vedic chant, the science of Japa, which is the repetition of a chant, can take you into an altered state of consciousness, move you from beta to alpha to theta, where all healing happens automatically and spontaneously. But particularly the science of seed sounds, where you actually use different sonic technologies or sounds to influence different energy centers or chakras and actually heal different diseases and health conditions, even psychosomatic conditions. Yes.
So, Dr. Shruti, you were saying that you wanted to demonstrate, this the effect of raga on this. So, would you could please go and demonstrate it? Yes.
Okay. So, I request. I'm just going to put on my electronic Tanpura, and so just want you to listen carefully with a very relaxed mind, with no ideas in your head. Just listen and just feel yourself. Feel what you're, feel whether you're experiencing visuals, or are you experiencing a rising energy, or kind of internalizing energy, or like a feeling of, getting more energy to do work or to go towards the day or dawn, or coming back to rest. So, so different feelings, yeah. So some of you are more sensorial, so you will feel, maybe more in your sensory being. Some of you are more visual, so you will actually see either light or colors or actual scenes in your mind. So different reactions, but connected. So I'm singing the first rag. Okay.
Yes, Dr. Shruti.
How do you feel?
Very nice. I was able to visualize a huge tree, like, very green and heavy and a full tree in front
Okay.
of me with this thing.
Okay. And what shape was the tree? You can show me with your hands. What was the shape of the
It
tree?
was kind of a mushroom shaped, with a very large spread, very large canopy on top of it. Yes.
Okay.
And very full with leaves, green leaves, full of it, and maybe a few rays of sun, filtering through them, something like that.
What kind of sun? Harsh sun, light sun, soft
No,
sun?
soft sun, light sun, soft sun, like,
What
slanting
color?
rays.
Dawn?
More of orange, yellowish orange. Yeah.
Orange. Okay, fine. What else? Any other impressions?
Maybe other panelists can ask. I mean, they can tell
Yeah.
their
Any other
experiences.
feelings, impressions?
Yes, maybe of course, yes, and rather too imaginative. But what I saw was as if like no, there was a garden and loads of flowers and lush green, and there was a fountain somewhere in the center, and it was drawing me to go towards the center while I am watching at the corner, and I am wanting to go towards the center and explore it more, and I keep going further. This is what I.
Wonderful. Lovely. Okay. What else?
I'd like to
Hi,
say,
Anuja.
hi, this is Anuja. Good afternoon, Dr. Podar. Thank you. So I didn't close my eyes. My eyes were open, so I was looking at all of you, but I could feel a sudden flow of energy. And I think I was a bit more aware of it, that there is something inside me which I can feel. And maybe if I meditate or concentrate a little bit, maybe I can channelize it towards a particular thing.
Okay, so
So that's what I felt.
Flow was it? What kind of flow was it?
There was, there's a slight warmth that I could feel within. So maybe it was in my heart or my gut or somewhere, but I could feel something flowing inside my body.
But
something.
Was it a rising energy? Was it a circular energy? What kind of energy?
Maybe rising, I would say, especially as in when your voice was becoming a little louder. So I could feel it a bit more. And then when it was going down, so then again the energy was going a bit slow.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. What else? Anything else? Lovely.
Hi, Shruti. How are you?
Very well.
So for me, this was like a morning rag. So I could see the dawn and birds in the sky, and just morning happening, like a new beginning.
Okay. Yes. Anything else? Yeah.
That's it. It was a nice feeling.
Great. So indeed, it was a morning rag. It was an early morning rag, and you could see slanted rays, orangish yellow, and you could feel the rising energy, and you could actually see the morning, some of you, and some of you probably saw the whole scene like Harpreet, which is so lovely. Shows your visual. Are you involved creatively with Sita? Yes, you are. Okay. Wonderful. That was. I mean, I'm so impressed with your sensitivity to. We hardly sang for a few seconds. It wasn't even a minute of alap, and you could feel that. Wonderful. You want another example?
Yeah, please.
Yes, sure.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So this is leading. This is leading you to realize how music can change your mood and change your consciousness. Yes. Okay. Next one.
That was also so wonderful.
So, how did you feel?
I felt like, I was sitting outside a temple or some place of worship, in the outskirts of something religious.
Okay.
And it is a daytime. That's for sure. I could, feel that it's a daytime.
Okay.
That's
Hard sun, soft sun?
Not very hard sun, yeah, because it's soft sun, yeah.
Soft sun. Okay, good. Okay. What else?
Any of the panelists, if they want to, yeah.
Yes.
Sorry to come again, and why I wanted
sorry?
to.
I'm so happy you're coming back.
Why I wanted to share this thing is I can actually relate to what Indrajit just mentioned, because what I saw was as if like the first raga I was seeing, like I was drawn to something towards walking towards the center and this thing. Here in this one, I found myself more settled, like sitting on the ghat somewhere. For example, like it was a Varanasi ghat or something. I remember out of my travel.
So
I was settled there.
At the ghat?
Yeah. So I was there at the ghat, and I could see the river flowing, the boat on it, this thing on the river flowing at a distance, and then probably sun at the background, but calmed down a little, orangish, and then somebody as if like at the background sitting at a particular place, more relaxed sitting, and then reciting that particular kind of a raga.
Lovely. So if you are in the month of May, so what time of day would you attribute that to? If the sun is low, would you call it resting time?
Yes, that is how I probably felt. It was more of the evening, this thing to me.
More of the evening. Okay,
yeah.
Fine. What else? Anyone else?
Hi, doctor.
Hi,
This is Akriti.
Akriti.
I wish I could have closed my eyes earlier as well. So this time I was able to connect very well. And for me, the time was more of Amrit Vele, I would say. Although
Sorry?
I'm not a Sikh, but then the morning, the dawn time, like a 4:30, which is called Amrit Vele, where you actually connect with God really well. And being a spiritual person, I could actually feel that as if, I have, let's say, like all the flowers in my hand, like orchid or champa, and I'm actually, showering it on the Almighty. So that was one thought. And I'm not in the temple. I'm at my house only, and wherever I do the morning prayer, I'm at the same place, but I'm doing it early morning. So I think that was a kind of a very spiritual, feeling.
Okay, lovely. Lovely. What else?
We have another, one of my colleagues, Vipin Nayal, who wants to say that it felt like, monsoon approaching and smell of dust and birds chirping, something like that.
Okay. Okay. But not approached yet. Yeah.
Not approached yet.
Okay. And what time of day did they feel? Was it sunny? Was it not sunny? Was it kind of midday? Was it evening? Was it dusk? What do you think?
I would think it would be a start of the day. Yes.
Okay.
Start of the day.
What else? Anyone else?
So for me, it was like an afternoon, restful time, and
okay.
For me, it was a morning, late morning, in front of a temple, somewhere in the hills, with the river gushing out.
Lot of rivers, huh? Lot of rivers flowing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in a valley, in the mountainous valley. So when I closed my eyes, I felt that I'm just sitting there and realizing all the peace of the mind, and everything is settled. The meadows, river, mountains. So that was my feeling when I heard this music.
But nobody saw the hard sun of midday. No one saw the sun overhead, right?
No.
Huh? So it obviously can't be the middle of the day, right? No one saw the sun overhead. Okay, good. So that's correct. The sun is definitely not overhead. And this is actually an evening rag. Evening, not night, not dark, but a time when the fishermen go home, when the cows go home. Huh? So Harpreet saw the fishermen and the sun low. So it's like dusk. Yes, indeed. And it's also very devotional. So when Akriti feels that sense of devotion, most of the, that sense of devotion, that sense of a lot of love, a lot of surrender, that is the quality of this rag, like you have, that song, for instance, Shri Ram Chandra Kripalu Bhajamana. So this is the same rag which I just sang, or even the very romantic songs of Hindi films like Zindagi Bhar Nahi Bhulegi Wo Barsat Ki Raat. So same rag. So that extreme sense of love, devotion, this rag lends itself to that quality. And generally, a time for devotion and love is when you come back to rest, or when you are in a state of rest. So like Akriti felt that she was in a state of happy, full of love, full of devotion state. And she could probably connect with it as an early morning. And most of the time people would connect with it as a sense of coming back to rest, So you can feel that sense of restfulness, that sense of ease, the hardship of the day is over, your chores are over, You are now at a time where you can connect with the love in your heart and either be with yourself, or be with your loved ones, or be with the divine. So that is why the combination of notes and the movement of notes are such that it lends itself to this devotional, loving state of beauty, state of feeling beauty. So that's the quality of this rag, and each one of you felt it in different ways. Yes.
Okay. One of my colleagues, Anindita Kashyap is asking, hello, Dr. Podar, was it Rag Kafi?
This was Rag Yaman.
Rag Yaman.
This was Rag Yaman. I'm sure you've heard of, any of you who have done or heard classical music would definitely know Rag Yaman. Must have heard of Rag Yaman. Very commonly sung rag. Very, very popular in film music. Very popular in Indian devotional music.
Yes, right.
And the earlier rag, which was a morning rag, was Rag Vibhas.
Okay.
Rag Vibhas, okay? So that's an early morning rag. So you felt dawn, you felt rising energy, etc. Okay. One more? Do you have time for one more?
Yes,
okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, my feeling was that this was sometime in the middle of night.
Okay.
And sitting lonely, darkness, little bit,
lonely,
more of
darkness. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's it. Maybe let's ask other panelists also. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. For me, again, it felt somewhere in the night when I'm done with my chores for the day and everything's done. I'm just kind of introspecting and thinking about maybe life or some things that I've done in the day or not done, something I could have done better. Just introspecting and thinking about various things. So that I was like in my room.
Sitting alone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I was in my room just with myself. That was my feeling.
Okay. Wonderful. Lights are on, lights are off.
Dim lighting, I would say.
Dim light. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. I felt as if like a small schoolboy who's returning back from his school and somewhere going into the fields, and I could see nobody around till quite a distance, and as if like suddenly there were dark clouds which were gathering, and they kept on gathering till it got very dark, but it was not raining, but it was building up for the rain kinds, and it was getting dark and nobody was around. So it was like...
So again, a sense of dark and alone. No one around. Okay. Okay. Good. Anyone else?
For me, I think it was again a connection with God, but yeah, it's dark. However, I think I'm kind of questioning God, whatever things are happening presently. Why is it happening?
Okay.
And there's a kind of a pain.
Are you feeling lonely? Are you feeling melancholy? Are you feeling happy to be alone? Are you feeling sad? What are you feeling?
Well, my feeling is definitely is like more of I'm questioning God, that why this situation. One, I'm sitting alone. Second, it's darkness. Thirdly, I am feeling sad. So that's why I'm questioning God, that why everything is happening and when are we going to be over? So I think it's more of all the things happening around us.
Questioning, introspection,
exactly.
alone
exactly.
And with yourself, deep with yourself. Yes. Okay. Good.
Exactly.
Okay. Good. Anyone else?
Yeah, one of my, yeah, okay, go on. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Dr. Pudar. It's a first time experience for me. So in the
Who's
third
that?
raga.
Who's speaking?
My name is Azam Khan.
Right, Azam, yes.
Yeah, so that's the three ragas. Then I came to know about the actual thing. So in the first raga, it was just like in a lockdown situation. I'm at home. So as if it's lockdown has been over, and usually we'll go in the morning for a morning prayer at about 4:30 and 5. So the first one was like cool breeze coming in, people wishing, and then we are going that way. Then the second one was like in the afternoon or evening when Maghrib namaz happens, when we come down to our home, then all people cheering up and it's a very lively mood, means everyone coming back from the home and people playing and all that. But in the third one, it felt like it was just like 3 or 4 o'clock before sunset. It was little bit of, you can say, harsh sun. And it was uncomfortable in the last raga for me. Okay. So that was my experience.
Yes.
And it is my first experience. I haven't heard the ragas
what
before.
Was the discomfort? Did you feel very heavy in the heart? What were you feeling?
Yeah, in the last one.
Yes.
Yes.
You felt heavy in the heart?
Yes.
Did you feel lonely?
Lonely, yeah, a little bit. Means it's 3 or 4 o'clock and I'm going back home, but I can't go the places where all the people are playing and all that, but I have to go back home.
Okay.
So it was
little. So you're all alone. You've been left alone.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, nice. Anyone else, very quickly?
Yeah, Dr. Shruti, I felt completely lonely. Nothing around, and just wanting to be lonely completely with that feeling of very heavy in the heart. Heavy. That kind of feeling, I felt with this.
Okay. So did you want to be alone or you didn't want to be alone?
No, I want to be alone.
You wanted to be alone. Okay. And were you comfortable or you were not comfortable?
Very heavy in the heart. It was very heavy.
Happy.
No, heavy.
Heavy. Yes. Okay. So you were heavy in the heart, you were alone, and it was dark?
It was dark.
Dark?
Yes, completely
dark. Okay. Fine. Who was happy to be in that darkness and alone? Yeah? Indrajit, you were happy to be alone in the dark?
No, not at all. Because, a heavy heart means, something which is bothering me and introspection.
Yeah.
And, there's a quest which, when a person is drowning and he wants to come up. So that was the feeling which I had.
There was a quest. That's very well put. There was a quest. There was some aspiration. There was some people were questioning. Some people were introspecting. So it was a rag which was forcing all of us to go within.
Yeah.
It was forcing us to go into ourselves, which is often not a very comfortable feeling because we are not used to going within. We are always externalized, no? So when you're forced to go within, you feel heavy, you feel lonely sometimes, you feel uncomfortable, you question, you introspect, and some people actually feel very comfortable in this aloneness. So actually when you begin to feel comfortable being alone and in that state of deep within, then this loneliness or aloneness actually becomes a very welcome state. So this is a very deeply meditative rag, Rag Darbari. It's Rag Darbari, a very deeply late night. You said late night. So actually, it is supposed to be a late night rag. But basically, when you say late night, it also means night in your consciousness. See, right now we are all sitting in one time of day, but we are actually seeing different visuals. Even though we are sitting in one kind of atmosphere, some of us are even sitting with our curtains closed. Some of us can see the day. Some of us cannot see the day if we are in a different time zone. But you are actually feeling different times of day because of a different structure of a raga. Because when I am singing a rag, I am creating a different being. I'm creating an atmospheric being which has a different DNA. Just like we have different DNAs, every rag has a different DNA. And according to that DNA, we can, have different kinds of hairstyles at different times, but our basic nature does not change. So even if you sing a rag in different ways many times, the basic nature of a rag, the basic atmospheric nature of a rag does not change. So however I sing that rag, you will have the same feeling. Except, of course, if I put a lot of percussion, then it will become faster or slower and so on. But otherwise, every rag will evoke a certain atmosphere in your consciousness. And that is what we just did. Okay? Yes?
Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
Any other questions before we move on?
Yeah, I think, Akriti, would you go on and ask your question?
Yes.
So doctor, I would like to ask you, is there any specific time in a day that when we need to do this Nada yoga? So that's my first question.
Actually, the moment you understand that actually you are in subconsciously or consciously, you are always in Nada yoga. Because you are nothing but a mass of vibrations yourself.
Actually, yeah.
And your whole vibrational being, okay, let me give you an example to make this clearer to you. How do we receive sound in our body? How do you hear sound? You know how you hear sound? You learned it in school, I'm sure. How do you hear sound?
That's always external, right?
No. But you're hearing sound, no? If you're deaf, you can't hear. But if you're not deaf, you can. So how do you hear sound? What happens?
Through the ears.
Resonate.
Yes.
The vibrations go onto our eardrums.
Sound waves. Sound
waves. Yeah.
Sound waves.
Your ear, and then
the feeling goes to the brain, and the brain recognizes it.
Ear doesn't have any feeling. Okay. No emotions.
The sound goes to the brain, and then brain realizes what kind of a sound it is. It recognizes.
How does it go to the brain? How? In what form?
Through the nerves.
Air to travel. There's no air in the brain.
Through vibrations.
Yeah. I mean, even sound waves themselves are vibrations.
Yes.
Any wave is a vibration. So sound wave is also a vibration. And then it reaches your ear. And then what happens? There's a certain shape of the ear, like a spiral here. So it gets caught and then it goes in. And what is inside your ear?
Nerves.
You have a eardrum?
Eardrum.
Yeah. So that's a membrane. Your sound wave can't go beyond the eardrum.
Okay.
So how does it reach your brain? What happens when it hits the eardrum?
The membrane vibrates. Yeah. Membrane.
And then what happens after vibration? It moves. Yeah? It moves.
Yes, it moves. Yeah.
It moves and vibrates. So there's this vibration, which is a wave motion. And then there's another kind of vibration, which is the drum vibrating. And that vibration creates what? I'm sure you learned this in school.
That was a tricky one. I know, very basic, but
yeah. So what happens when that drum vibrates? It creates electrical impulses. Okay. And then there is an auditory nerve which is connected to your eardrum, and your electrical impulses go through that auditory nerve to your brain. If that eardrum gets damaged or your nerve gets damaged, then the sound waves, even if they reach your eardrum, they will not pass on in terms of electrical impulses to your brain, and hence we will say you are deaf. You don't hear the sound. Even though your ear has received the sound, but you do not recognize the sound in terms of electrical impulses, which are also vibrations, which go to your brain, and the brain recognizes these impulses as sound. So actually what you think you're hearing as sound is electrical impulses that are reaching your brain and making you recognize it as sound. Similarly, what you see goes to your retina, gets converted into again electrical impulses, and then goes to another part of your brain which recognizes it as light or as visuals, or smell goes again and gets converted into electrical impulses, or touch. You touch something, you touch a surface, it becomes electrical impulses, and you recognize different kinds of touches as different kinds of touch, and so on. And taste also gets converted into electrical impulses. So everything gets converted into electrical impulses, and whatever you have tasted, whatever you have touched, whatever you have smelt, whatever you have seen, whatever you have heard, which means the panchendriyas, the 5 sensory inlets to your consciousness, whatever you have received from these 5 sensory inlets get converted into electrical impulses, go into your brain, give you certain impressions, sensations, etc., and get stored in your memory forever, as your memory forever, right? So under hypnosis, you might have heard that anything you have ever experienced in your life can come back after years and years through hypnosis. So nothing you have experienced through your sensory organs ever gets lost from your consciousness. So whatever vibration you receive becomes a part of your mind. Yes?
Yes.
How does it say it as memory in your brain? So the classical physicists, how did they describe memory? What is memory, and how does it stay in your brain forever? Anyone? Do you know how memory is stored in your brain? So classical physicists, yeah, go on. Somebody is telling me something.
I said I'm not a science student. I only know that in childhood, if we had walnuts, then the memory is sharp. That's what I know.
Okay. Actually, demarcation between I'm a scientist and I'm not a scientist is a very false demarcation. One can be everything by gaining knowledge. All you need to do is read. Yeah. You know, science has nothing to do with school.
True.
Yeah.
Today we are in an interconnected world full of knowledge. You can gain that knowledge from anywhere. Yeah, right?
True.
Okay. So in classical physics, which believed that the atom was solid, before quantum physics came in and said even the atom is just a mass of vibrations and everything is vibration. There is nothing which is solid in this world. So until the time we believed that atoms were solid, or molecules were solid substances, scientists discovered that memory is stored in the brain in the form of chemicals. Okay? So what are chemicals made of? What are chemicals made of?
Molecules,
right?
Yeah,
atoms and molecules, right?
Yes.
You don't need to be a scientist to know that. Everything is made of atoms and molecules, right?
Yeah.
So, and typically what do we think? Atoms and molecules are the solid part of our body. We are made up of atoms and molecules and hence we are solid, right? So what am I saying? Actually, what am I saying? That everything that goes in as electrical impulses, as vibrations into your body becomes a part of your consciousness, a part of your makeup, a part of your memory, and hence, and because memory is chemicals in your body, everything that you take in becomes a part of your body, a part of your physical body, right? Forever.
Correct.
So whatever influences you give yourself is nada. And what you become is also nada, because you're, after all, in quantum physics, only a mass of vibration. So you are gathering nada from all around you, also from inside you, through your breath, through your intent, through your thoughts, through your sound, through the way you speak, through what you speak, through what you think. So you are giving yourselves nada, you are gathering nada from the atmosphere, and you are nada. You are a mass of nada. You're not just influenced by nada, you yourself are nada. So your whole life is nada yoga, either consciously or subconsciously or unconsciously. You are in a state of nada yoga all the time. If you become conscious of the tools of nada that you can use to empower yourself, then you are in conscious nada yoga. Otherwise, you are in a play of nada. But when you become conscious of nada and its movement and its uses and how you can use it to harmonize yourself, then you are not in the play of nada, in the interactions which you have no control over, but then you are in the yoga of nada. You're using this whole seamless, continuous play of microwaves, of sound waves, of light waves, of intent waves, of thought waves, of cellular phone waves, you know, this whole mass of wave motion, this whole mass of vibration. You learn how to deal with it. And when you learn how to deal with it through the right applications of nada, then you begin to practice nada yoga. So in a very scientific way, that is what nada yoga is. It is not a cliched term. It is not a set tenet which you have to follow. It is many, many, many practices in our culture. It's an amalgamation of practices in our culture, very defined sciences, which help you to harness your vibrational energies, which help you to harmonize your energy centers, your chakras, which help you to cleanse your neural networks, which help you to reorder your cells, which help you to access different levels of mind. The frontal mind is one which is constantly engaged in questioning and talking, etc. But there is an intuitive mind, there is a telepathic mind, there is a mind of premonition, there is clairaudience, there's clairvoyance, there are many, many levels of mind which we don't even access because our energy, our vibrations are flowing outward and downward without control. But if we learn how to collect, to internalize our energies, to make them flow in a certain way, then we can help to access different levels of our consciousness, feed ourselves with the nourishment of the universe in an ordered, channelized way, and cleanse ourselves, purify ourselves, refresh ourselves, heal ourselves, and empower ourselves. So that's the magic of Nada Yoga. But yes, many, many practices which we can access. For instance, the practice of the Vedic chant. There's a certain science of the Vedic chant, and there's a certain science of Bija mantras, science of mudras. There's many, many, many sciences. Science of the Sri Yantra, which take you. Sri Yantra is called the body of the universe. It has 9 levels. It is also called the body of Shakti, or the body of the forces of the universe, or the body of the divine mother, because the feminine divine is also all the forces of nature. But it is also holographic with our own body in 9 levels. So it's the Sri Yantra, the Meru, is also a depiction of the different levels of universal consciousness or of action within our own body. So there are many kinds of practices of vibrational methodologies or Nada Yoga within our culture. And I don't think we have too much time to take up many of them, but I can demonstrate a Vedic chant. How much time do we have?
Actually, I mean, we are almost finishing, but we can, for 15 minutes, we can definitely continue. Yeah, sure.
Okay, fine. So I'm going to demonstrate, I will just tell you that Om is one of the seed sounds. There is a whole gamut of seed sounds, like, for instance, Lang. That's to do with your Mooladhara chakra, the base chakra. And there's a science of it. Why? There are the different sounds, like La is earth, W is like water, R is fire, Y is air, H is ether, and so on. So different elemental states in your body give you different root sounds are connected to different elemental states, and hence when you combine it with a nasal sound like a bindu, like Lang, then it actually vibrates in your bottom chakra, which is in line with your tailbone, your Mooladhara chakra. Om resonates here between your eyebrows. Hum heats up your throat. It resonates in the throat, the Vishuddhi chakra, and it clears viral infection, clears coughs and colds. So if you feel a pain in your throat in this time, definitely chant Hum. Get rid of any kind of bacteria, viral pain. If you feel anything in your throat, have a lot of water. Don't have cold water. Do not have curd or yogurt in the evening, and chant Hum, Hum, and do that till you start feeling this vibration in your throat, and you will immediately feel better. So try to do that. That's a little hint. And I'll just demonstrate a Vedic chant to you and introduce you to the science of the Vedic chant and how it helps us to go from a very fast brainwave state, which is beta, to alpha, which is a meditative state. And then if you chant repeatedly, it takes you into a state of trance or a state of theta, where all healing, internal, automatic rejuvenation, transformation, healing becomes possible. Yeah. So I will demonstrate a Vedic chant to you.
Yeah.
And let us see how sensitive you are to what I'm actually doing, how you feel, and what am I doing? What is the technology of a chant?
Right.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So, you don't feel like opening your eyes, right?
Right, yes.
So what happened? Why is it different from a raga? You heard a rag earlier, which is also, you also felt quieter with that and more peaceful or meditative and so on. But is this a different feeling from
Yes,
the
it
rag?
is. Yes, it is. You know, I mean, I could, feel that, vibrations are coming over to my, middle of the two eyes and in the eyebrows here, somewhere here. This,
Yes.
some circular, waves are coming and, they are converging here, something like that.
Yes. Okay. Okay. What else? Anyone else? It's okay if some of you say that we didn't see anything. We just went into meditation. That's fine. You don't have to see anything. Yeah.
So I felt as if like all the energies, they were like getting together and then culminating and then, coming at one particular place. This is how you feel
which
energetic.
Place? Where did you feel it?
Within yourself.
Head?
Gathering and coming.
Okay. Yes. Anyone else?
I was feeling like I'm seeing a blue light, a blue ray of light in a far distance, which is coming to my forehead from the far distance.
Interesting. Okay. Anyone else?
For me as well, it was similar to what the others have said. The energy was flowing inside my mind, not my heart or gut or anywhere else, but focus was more on the mind.
Yeah.
So that is where I could feel the energy going.
And did any of you feel that actually you were not, after a while, you were actually not, you had to bring yourself back to think what you were feeling? Did you feel that you became very quiet and actually you were not even being able to feel what you were feeling until I stopped chanting? Some of you might have got lost with it.
Yes.
Did you feel a sense of getting lost?
Yeah.
True. Yes.
Absolutely.
Feeling.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's possible.
In space.
That will definitely happen when you go on chanting. Right now, I stopped after one chant. But if I had not stopped, chanted, say 12 times, the same thing again and again and again without stopping, you wouldn't have probably known when I stopped. You would already be in a state of trance. You won't know when I stopped. Or even if you knew, you would find it very difficult to open your eyes. Even now, it took you a few seconds to be able to open your eyes. But if I had done the job, if I had chanted again and again, then it would have been very, very difficult for you to open your eyes for a few minutes at least. So that's the power of the Vedic chant. So what is this power? What did I do? I just sang like I sang a rag. So why is it different? What was this methodology of the chant which made us get into this state? There's something about it. Yes. I mean, it might seem like magic, but magic has a method behind it. So what was that method? What is the science of the chant? What did I do? What did I sing? What do you think I was doing? I was chanting some notes, right? For anything to be sung, you have to chant some musical notes, right? So did you have any impression? I mean, if I very quickly chant it again, just notice. Huh? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So, do you notice something?
I think the first thing I noticed was that you were using 3 notes, only 3 notes. It was, going on between 3 notes only.
Which notes?
Ni, Sa and Re.
Okay. Have you attended a session with me before?
No.
No. Good.
Actually, my father was a musician. Yeah, my father was a musician.
Okay.
And he used to play sitar. And, though I'm not into music, in classical music, but, the feeling of some rags, they vibrate in me. So only, this thing I could notice as a layman only. That,
I shouldn't have started with you because you already given most of the answer. But yes, you're right. Om is a bass note, Sa. there's a lower note ni, and there's a higher note re. So we are singing 3 notes, ni, sa, and re. You're absolutely right. But so what? So what's happening if I'm singing ni, sa, and re in different ways? So what did I do? So I'll demonstrate it again. Sa, sa, ni, sa, re, sa. Sa, ni, sa, re. Ni, sa, ni, sa, ni, sa, re, sa. Ni, sa, re, ni, sa, ni, sa, re. Ni, sa, ni, sa, ni, sa, re, sa. So that's what I did. Yeah? 3
Yes.
notes. You're right. In different permutations and combinations. But so what? So what if I chanted only 3 notes? Why do you have this effect on your mind?
Because
Why
of
is
the
it that if I'm singing in 3 notes only, you have this deepening effect in your mind? You have this almost state of where you can't open your eyes, almost going into this alpha meditative state. Why is it that if you're singing these 3 notes in this particular way, it is taking you into that state? Why?
maybe something related to the sound wave. There's a bass,
All
there's a
sound
wave.
Even when we speak, there are sound waves. Yeah. Even any utterance is a sound wave. So what is special about this? Now we know that we are singing within 3 notes. So any conclusions from that?
Another thing would be, the words.
Let somebody else answer.
Saying. Yeah, sure.
Somebody else. Okay. Anyone else? Any ideas? No? Think. Frequencies. Sound frequencies. Every note has a frequency, right? So you're moving between 3 frequencies only, right? Okay. Any idea now? I've given you so many hints. Okay. You wanted to say something, Luji? Yes.
I was also saying, the words which you are using, they also have an effect. There's an additional effect here.
Of course, additional effect. But if I just say Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate, will you have the same effect?
Not at all, yeah, because it's like incomplete. Half of.
Of course, it's poetic. It's got chanda. It's got rhyme. Of course, it has an additional effect. Definitely has an additional effect. But the main effect, along with the flow of Sanskrit, there's sandhi in Sanskrit. All these reasons are there. When Sanskrit language is so scientific that even though different words are separated, when you say them together, they are joined together so that the flow, the wave motion of the utterances are not broken by taking a breath in between. So words are joined together in a process called sandhi. There's a science, there's a technology of how you join words together, and that is what is happening in a Sanskrit sentence or even in a chant. And then there is a laya or a rhythmic wave which is created. So that's called laya. And then there is rhyme. So there is rhyme, there is laya, there is a flow of the Sanskrit words. But the most important thing which we just experienced is the intonation. The effect the intonation is causing, and of course the combination of all these effects. But what is happening with the intonation of only 3 notes? So if you don't have an answer, then I will have to give it to you. Okay, so what is happening with these 3 notes is you are creating or enforcing the movement within a very narrow band of frequency. Bass note, lower note, slightly lower frequency, higher note, slightly higher frequency. And within this very narrow band of frequency, you are going up and down in a sliding way, not in a staccato way. So you are carrying the shrutis, they're called shrutis, which means even the sliding frequencies in between the lower frequency and the middle frequency and the higher frequency. So even the sliding frequencies are happening simultaneously, but you are not escaping this very narrow band of 3 notes only. Huh?
Yes.
Very narrow band of frequency. You're not going to, you're not traveling like we were traveling in the rag to higher notes and, creating a atmosphere and a scene and all that. You're not exploring, you're forcing a barrier, and you're forced to move up and down, up and down, up and down in a very, very narrow barrier. So what are you doing? You're concentrating your consciousness in a very narrow band of frequency, which is forcing your brain to become slower. It's forcing your brain waves to go from a beta state, which is the fastest brainwave state, to an alpha state, which is a slower brainwave state. And further, if you go on repeating many times, to a theta state. Now, I have experienced, I was in Devon in England once, and my friends were recording my Gayatri mantra.
Right.
And I was sitting in a room, all their wires and their whole apparatus had been taken, wired through to the next room, and I was sitting cross-legged, and I began to chant. And after some time, I lost consciousness, but I was still chanting. So I don't know when I opened my eyes, and I don't know how much I had chanted, and I thought I must have chanted enough. And this was a time when we had those cassettes, not even CDs, of 60 minutes.
Right.
And my friend came into my room and said, Shruti, that was perfect. That was 59.5 minutes.
My goodness. Oh.
So I was actually chanting in a state of trance. So what I'm trying to tell you is trance does not mean sleep. Your body can be operating, your voice can be operating in a state of trance, but your conscious mind is asleep. So, so in a state of trance, your body processes are still operating. But because there is no interference from the outside, because the fluids from your nerve endings withdraw within, all your finer, subtle energies are drawn within to the core centers of your being. And that is how intense healing happens. Because of the withdrawal of all your nervous fluids, that intense concentration of your finer and intense energies of your subtle nervous system, because they have withdrawn, because you have become dead to the outer response to stimuli, that internalization of energy creates healing. And that is the science of the Vedic chant, and that is the effect that it has on your consciousness. Okay, so I think that is where we'll have to stop today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Just a small window into the very, very wide ocean of Naad and vibrational healing. And,
of course.
Just a taste of it today. Yes.
Of course. I think, I will open this, the question session to the attendees if they have any question, any last question that they want to ask. So after that, then we will end it.
Yes.
So